Let's lock in. Teofimo Lopez takes Caden's advice and says he will hire WADA or USADA for drug testing, especially if he's fighting Devin Haney. We're going to take a look at what Teofimo Lopez posted, and I'm going to show you why it is him taking Caden's advice, and you'll see. Well, here it is. Now, Teofimo Lopez tweeted in response to Devin Haney accusing him of using pills, which, quote unquote, he was implying, are PEDs. And if you look at when this was posted on X, also known as Twitter, you would see it was posted at 6:01 a.m., January 5th, 2025, right? Now, let's look at what Teofimo Lopez said. He said, pills, ? I've learned something about this life. When people express false narratives, it's a projection of self. It is why I am focused on bringing either WADA or USADA into the professional sport of boxing, not a plug that I know I can manipulate like WADA and Victor Conti. #boxing, #life, right? Now, you see in this tweet, he's saying he's learning that it's a projection of self when you accuse someone of being on PEDs, meaning that Devin Haney and Bill Haney are projecting. And that's why he's going to bring in another independent doping agency to test Devin Haney samples like WADA or USADA. Now, again, look at the date, January 5th, 2025. This was, and it was in the morning, 6:01 in the morning. This was shortly after I posted a video about this topic. This wasn't really a hot topic, a public mainstream topic. It was more some advice that I decided I was going to give to the fighters. And you can see here, this was posted 3 days ago. Now, of course, I'm disappointed it didn't get more views, but knowing that most likely, based on what Teo wrote, that Teo was one of the views, I'm happy. The 128 is cool with me. Now, the title is Fighters Need to Make Devin Haney Tests with WADA or USADA instead of VADA. Now, it's a great video, and I recommend you watch it so you can get the gist of everything that I'm saying. But I'll play you just a snippet of my own video so you can see where Teofimo Lopez got this from. VADA. If I was on the team of anyone fighting Devin Haney, anyone, I don't care. If it's Teo, if it's Ryan in a rematch, I'm hiring an independent anti-doping agency to do the testing as well as VADA in conjunction with VADA. And watch, Devin probably won't agree to that. He probably won't agree to that because I'm curious to know how Devin strips himself down to make weight and then rehydrates 24, 25 pounds. To me, that is extremely suspicious. And again, like I said, there's a conflict of interest with VADA working with Victor Conti's athletes. So this is, and you all know the story. If you don't, you can look it up. I don't want to rehash things that's public knowledge and that we've spoken about at length. And there's other videos of me talking about this. You can look it up about Ryan in the Osterine. I've beaten this down numerous times. But my point is, Devin feels real comfortable with VADA. Victor Conti feels real comfortable with VADA. Bill Haney feels real comfortable with VADA. That is why if I'm in the corner of someone facing Devin moving forward, I hire my own independent doping agency, and they're going to test in conjunction with VADA. Every time a sample is provided to VADA, it's provided to my independent doping agency. And we're going to make sure we test Devin just as thoroughly as we know VADA is testing everyone else who fights Devin. Yes, so you see, there it was laid out 3 days ago. And then 2 days ago at 6 in the morning, Teofimo Lopez is tweeting that. What I said basically verbatim in a tweet, responding to Devin Haney accusing him of pills, which is using pills, which is something Devin did, earlier before Teofimo Lopez even tweeted that. So one, you see right there, one reason why you should subscribe, because this isn't the first time this happened. This has happened several times on the other channel, but there it is. And my response to it is great. I respected Teofimo Lopez. You should definitely do that, especially if you're fighting Devin Haney. But you never know what WADA's objective may be. So instead, you always want to, if I'm a potential opponent of someone who's on snack, or if I'm fighting someone who works with Victor Conti, I want my own independent doping agency to be testing my samples. So that way, if I'm falsely accused of contamination or anything, I can have evidence already in the bank saying, no, this is false. Because why is your sample saying this? We received the same sample and our test results aren't saying this, and we clearly tested for this. And what that does is that gives you reasonable doubt, right? So now if you have to go into the court of law, which you know the Haneys are no stranger to doing, you would have your own expert witnesses ready to testify against what WADA is about to say. And if you're familiar with trials, if you're familiar with professional trials or publicly highly publicized trials, and that involve things like this, you know, people bring in their own independent experts. So you want to have your own team ready, your own group of independent experts ready to combat anything that they may be saying. And it's obvious. It's a conflict of interest with Victor Conti working with WADA. He knows their protocol. He helped build it. He knows how they test. He helped build it. He knows what they're testing for. He helped build it. So it's a conflict of interest for Devin to be tested by WADA. But what he won't know is how WADA is doing it, how USADA is doing it. Or he may have some things, but he can't control what they're doing. And they would be more likely to bust Devin Haney, and also not just bust Devin Haney, but protection for the sample you submit so that your sample doesn't get contaminated with 6 billionths of something that you had no idea you was taking, right? You want to prevent these things. Send your samples to an independent doping agency, one, to protect yourself and keep record of your clean test, and two, so Devin can, or any snack fighter would have to send their sample to someone other than WADA, so that way they'd be more likely to get busted by someone who doesn't have a conflict of interest, ties in a former professional relationship with someone like Victor Conti. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Tio, respect, man. You know, I respect you with this, with your decision. I don't always respect what you say in terms of fighters' race and all that stuff. You're too good of a fighter to need to do those things. You don't need to be talking about Puerto Rican fighters are easy. I need to already be the white fighter. You don't need to be talking about black fighters. When Tio beat Vasily Lomachenko, I was high on him. I think he got a little gassed off it. He forced a purse bid. It didn't go his way in certain things. And I think he feels hard done by. And he's watched other fighters surpass him in terms of priority. Some of them may have been black. Some of them may have been Puerto Rican. And when he watches this, he says certain things that is just off-putting. You have a lot of people who come from different backgrounds or different races and ethnicities who think you are a very talented fighter. When you do those things, though, it turns people off, man. You just need to leave that alone. Let your skills speak for itself. As long as you let your skills speak for itself, people are going to rock with you. When you start doing these type of things, it'll throw you off. That's my only other set of advice I would give to Tio if you're watching this video, Tio. But you're spot on with the independent doping agency to test samples. That's the best way to protect yourself against being framed and to make sure someone will bust a snack fighter. Thank you for watching. Again, like, share, subscribe. It's Caden. And if you want to hear this content, but you don't have the opportunity to always watch the videos, you can check out my podcast on all major streaming services, Caden's Kerfuffle, the same name and spelling as this YouTube video. All right, I'm out. Peace.